Welcome back to another episode here at Ground Zero, where we buy cars and we flip them for a profit. In today's episode, we'll be discussing this 2005 Kia Sportage, and this right here is actually the aftermath of us cleaning it up, detailing it, fixing little things here and there on the body, getting new tires, cleaning the interior, doing a full detail, and some other things along those lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll the footage of picking this thing up, driving it back over here, talking about what needed to be done. So let's roll those clips right now. We just picked up the Kia from CarMax. We're gonna be driving this guy out. So far, I mean, struts seem like they make a tiny bit of noise, but brakes seem like they're pretty good, which is nice, so I don't have to do brakes on it. There is a check engine light. The check engine light is for an O2 sensor. So let's pull this thing out and get it back over to the warehouse. Struts make a tiny bit of noise. Heat blows hot, not cold. The AC blows cold. Trying to figure out the sunroof because it's got like an aftermarket sunroof that's in this, and the buttons are a little bit different, but all the windows work in it too. Drives pretty straight, pulls maybe a little bit to the right. The front passenger side tire might be a little bit low, but other than that, I mean, for what I got it for, I think it's a pretty good deal. It's a 2005 with 163,000 miles, and we'll talk about what I got it for at the end of this video, as well as what I'm going to list it for. The front tires aren't the best. I mean, they still have tread, but it's lower tread than I would like to have on a car that I'm selling. So we'll see if I can possibly get some cheaper tires for the front, and the backs aren't that much better, but the back do have more tread on it. So if anything, maybe I'll just do the front. I'll have to see with cost first and see how much room I have on this vehicle. So with that being said, when we get back to the warehouse, we'll dive deeper into what we need to do next to get this thing up and ready. And I had somebody that messaged me on the Mazda that I had for sale, and I told them that I had a deposit on it, so they said that they'd potentially be interested in this. So as soon as I get photos of it, I'll send it over to her, and maybe it might be already sold before we even start working on it. So I'll see you guys back at the warehouse here in a minute. Now that we've made it back to the warehouse with this Kia Sportage, what we're gonna do is go over the little things that I may need in order to get it ready. As you can tell, these headlights, they need to be buffed out and cleaned out a bit. They're both not the best. The other thing that we gotta think about of what I'm gonna do is this fender. I'm thinking about maybe just leaving this fender dented in, and then just being able to kind of maybe pull this fender out a little bit, just so the bumper can align with the fender, and it'll look a little bit better than being all kind of like, if you look at it like that, it's kind of out in a way. So if I could mount that up a little bit better, that would be good. As I said before, the tires, they're not that great. The back, there's no tread here, but there's a decent amount of tread in the middle. By decent, I mean more than what's on the edge. Same with this guy over here, same exact situation. So I might end up needing to get 4 tires for it. And I was just looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw some, I think they were Toyos, the same tire size, for $225. So if I can get those for $200, have them installed, I'll do that, call it a day, and then he'll have some decent tires for winter. So that will be good. As well as, I just called my detailer. He's gonna come over here and detail this interior, because as you can tell, pretty dirty. Carpet's pretty dirty in this thing. Center console, not too bad. This is broke. I'll have to figure out something to do with that. It looks like there's some pieces in there too. So when he's detailing it, I'll probably end up just buffing out these headlights. First of all, doing the headlights, and that was the other thing. I shouldn't have opened up the door. This fender needs to come forward. So I'll show you. When you close it, it's gonna hit So I'm gonna have to take that fender, loosen up the fender, and just pull it back just a little bit, so there's gonna be a better gap. So as you can tell, the gap, it's wide up here, and it gets wider and wider and wider, and that's what I just did right in there. So I'll do that when he's detailing. And this carpet, you know, a little bit better than the other side. It is the passenger side, so you would think less people are in on the passenger side than the driver's side, right? And the back seat isn't too bad, but all this stuff, whatever that garbage is, he'll end up taking all that out. Let's pop the trunk. So that's the trunk in it. I haven't lifted this up yet, but look at that. That looks pretty clean. So that's a plus. These shocks are bad. Both of those are bad. I'm surprised it's staying up. See how it's just falling down? So those I'll probably end up leaving though too as well. But like I said, we'll wait for my detailer. Once he gets here, we'll start the time lapse, and then we'll get going on detailing this thing, getting it ready for sale, and then probably end up moving on to the next, whether it be the tires or whatever it may be. So by then we'll play by ear. So we'll get going on it here shortly. I managed to get this out a little bit. What I ended up doing was I put a strap to the pole over here, and I hooked it underneath. I hooked it underneath to the fender because it was crimpled in. So I put it in a bolt in one of the holes, and then I put the hook around on the other side, put a bunch of tension on it, and it kind of pulled it out like that. And then went in there with the crowbar and the hammer just to hit it down and release some tension, so then it would just stay. So it's better than what it was. I mean, you can see this is gonna come up a little bit like that. It'll still have a gap, but before I couldn't even move the bumper in. So for not replacing the fender or anything like that, I mean, I'd say it's better than what it was. Maybe took, 30, 40 minutes to do. So at this point, we're gonna button this all up, get the bumper secured while he's still detailing, and we'll check out the interior right now. So this is the interior, still working on it. Back was pretty clean. Check out the inside over here. It's looking good. Little detail can go a long way. Just finished up detailing the whole inside. Looks pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is go around and clean the exterior real quick. It's actually getting pretty late. But we'll clean the outside of it, get the outside looking good. And then tomorrow I gotta go pick up some tires I found on Facebook for $150 only, which is pretty good. They're Toyos too, with over 50% tread. I think they got like 60% tread on them. So for 150 bucks, that'll be good compared to these guys that are on here now. Check this out. Those things are bald, finished up. So the headlights, you saw that. So let me clean them real quick. That was just a quick buff with my little homemade buffer that I made. This side came out all right. It's better than what it was. I mean, otherwise, the thing that I would have to do would be replace this fender, get a new headlight, fix all the bracketing behind here, and that's just gonna be added cost. And most of the time, it's a 2005, it's an older car, so people aren't gonna really care so much that, it's got a little fender bender in the front, which was kind of straightened out, So as long as the bumper kind of looks a little bit better as far as meeting up to the fender, yeah, there's a little gap, but like I said, The car is gonna be $3,900. It's not a $20,000 car. If it was a $20,000 car, then yeah, you go out of your way, replace the fender, fix whatever's in back of that fender. As far as the bracketing is concerned, then you'd end up getting a new headlight too, throwing all that on. But for what the car is, you gotta keep costs low. You look the best that you can. So with that said, we're gonna get to finishing up washing this thing. We'll end up drying it off after we're done washing it. And then it'll be done for the day. It's almost close to 7 o'clock, I think. Well, yeah, whatever the time is. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take these stickers off just to make it look a little bit nicer too as well on the outside. So with that said, let's continue cleaning the exterior on this, and then I'll catch you guys tomorrow when we get the tires. So see you then. Now that we got these tires back, and after we picked them up from Chicago, check them out. I mean, they're not bad. It's better than what I have on there. That compared to that. So, not bad for, it was $150. I'm gonna load these up in the back of the Kia, and then I'm gonna take this thing to the tire shop to get these things mounted. And they said it's gonna be about $15 or $20 a tire to mount and balance. So what we'll end up doing is, like I said, throw these in here, go to the tire shop and get that done. But first off, I need to wait, and I have a customer coming over here to buy the Nissan Sentra. So they should be over here in about 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll take care of that sale first. We'll get this thing gone, then we'll hop in that Kia, take it to the tire shop, and then get those mounted, and we'll be right back here. So let's get this going, and I'll see you guys in a second. We got the car sold, took care of the paperwork, got the sale done. Now I'm in the Kia. See the tires back there? We're going over to the tire shop right now, get these tires put on. Once they're put on, we'll be pretty much done with this. The last thing that I need to do is this right here. It's broke. So I'll have to fix that when I get back. But other than that, this thing is gonna be done. Interior is all cleaned up on it. The outside is all done, all cleaned up. The wheels are all cleaned. Windows, everything about the car. So with that being said, I mean, hey, catch you guys at the tire shop. One of the last things that we got to do with this Kia is this guy right here. So this thing is broke in the back. See that, how it just popped off? So what I'm gonna do is probably do this off camera because it's kind of tight in here. But I'm gonna take this out right here, these screws, pop this thing off, and see how I could just fix it. And if, you know, if the customer says something, I'll just order a new center console and I'll get it in the mail or whatever. And I'll tell them to come back to pick it up, and I'll just install it real quick. 4 screws should be in and out. It should be easy to do if they wanted that. You know, it is a used car. There's little things that are wrong with it. But with that said, I'm gonna get this done off camera, and then after that, we're gonna take photos of it and then get this thing done. We made it back to the warehouse, and we got this Kia Sportage back in the garage. I just took photos of it, just pulled it back in now. But as you can see, these tires look a lot better and have a lot more meat on them than those other ones did. So after we got those tires on, like I said, I just took photos of it. Just check out the interior. Everything came out pretty good. So what I'm gonna end up doing with this one very shortly is probably start making the listing on Facebook Marketplace and listing it for sale. This one specifically, let's see. I got it for, I'm gonna list it for $4,200. I bought it from the auction for $1,700 was a winning bid. The buyer's fee total with the car was $1,935, $1,935. Had to get those tires. Those tires I picked up from a private seller in Chicago for $150. And then I took it to Aztec, which is 15 minutes down the road. Got them mounted in balance for $15 a piece, so that was $60. And the total was, and then the detailer, I paid him $120 to detail the whole inside and to wash it. That was $120. So the total was $2,365. So then I'm gonna list it for $4,200. Hopefully you can sell it for roughly $4,000, make about $1,600 on it. So not too bad for, maybe 2 days worth of work, working on it, getting it ready for sale. And it's a little bit of leg work and driving around and whatnot. So with that being said, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up down below, hit that like button. And if you want to see any other videos that I put out regarding buying and selling cars, how to do it, and later on down the road, we'll go a little bit more in depth as to how you can buy it, how to see what a car is worth. When you're driving the car, see what problems are associated with it, stuff like that. If you guys want, hit the subscribe button down below so you can see any other video that I put out. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.